Up, guys? Happy Friday. Chuck Silver and Smitty here with Occupy Fantasy. We're going to try to make up for the other day. We were a little bit wrong about some stuff, but we have a pretty great slate today. I'm a big fan of a lot of stuff going on, especially that Atlanta San Antonio game. Smitty, how are we doing?
Yep, pretty good. Nice little five gamer on FanDuel, four on DraftKings. Kind of nice after yesterday's slate with everyone playing.
Yeah, man. I was watching. Smitty was in first place in the pick and roll until like the last 2 minutes of that Kings game, and then they went to overtime. And it's just, I think he still finished fifth, but if you play DFS, you have to win first. But still did pretty good. You called out Tyler Kolek as like your huge stand yesterday in the Discord, so that was pretty great.
Yeah, I was all over Kolek. I can't say I expected him to only be 10% on FanDuel.
Yeah.
I was well over that. And even on DraftKings, where he was near min price, he was only 18%, which was just pretty wild.
Yeah, we want to take advantage of those spots when they come up, and yesterday was the time it did work out. Donovan Mitchell has yet to let him know. Yeah, Smitty and I were talking about it. I think we're going to try to do. I think we're going to try to talk about Cleveland as if Donovan Mitchell's out. That's a bit of an advantage because that game locks a half hour after the first game, so we might be able to find an edge there. Blind squirrel nut, Smitty.
Yep.
Smitty is far from a blind squirrel. Um,
Nah, he's just messing. He's here every day.
what's the first game, Smitty? Celtics. We want to talk about Boston first.
Sure.
So you mentioned to me this is something that if we plan for Donovan Mitchell being out, we're going to get less of Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, whoever else on this team. So go ahead, tell me about Boston, however you want to break it down.
Yeah. Yeah, we see this team, a lot of them getting a lot of ownership. I know in my early builds, I was getting a ton of four-man Boston stacks, which kind of feels incorrect, even though I do like this game. But I was getting a lot of Pritchard, White, Brown together, which I don't think I want to play. So I did a max two of those three. I think they all look good. I think Jalen Brown looks like a good spend up option. Been on a tear. Miami allows a ton of threes, which is good for all three of those guys. So I do think they all look really good. With the Cleveland news still kind of pending, I'm going to have a little bit less than I do currently once I adjust for that. But overall, I still think they're in a good spot. I want some of it. Keita is also popping for me. I think he looks pretty good. Just a center option. There's actually some pretty decent center options on this slate, so I wouldn't say he's a near lock by no means, but he looks pretty good in the mid range. And then speaking of threes, I do want to mention at least Anthony Simons. Looks a little worse if Donovan Mitchell is out. Kind of one of those early values where you don't want to be too far into it in case that Cleveland news breaks your way. So I think getting to a little bit still makes sense because Simons could still outscore some of the Cleveland value. But yeah, that's pretty much Boston for me.
Did you see that report by Shams that the NBA is going to tighten up on like injury reports and all that, and a lot of our edge is going to go away? Donovan
Yeah.
Mitchell just got ruled out right now.
Oh,
So this is our
silver.
future, fellas. We're gonna have no edge planning stuff for players being rolled out late in the day. But Donovan Mitchell is out, so we're gonna have to wait a few minutes for the model to adjust. I imagine we're just gonna get more Cleveland, and like we mentioned earlier, it's probably gonna take away a little bit from the Boston exposure we had. But I'm still gonna get to pretty reasonable ownerships on this team. I'm basically between 20 and 30% on all these guys. So I guess I am kind of just with the field right now. But Jalen Brown is the one that I'm kind of interested in, even though his value is lower. Just like he has potential to put up the highest score on the slate, right? And so I want to make sure I don't go under on him.
Yeah, especially with Donovan Mitchell getting ruled out, makes it kind of easier to get to more Jalen Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet I'm going to get a little bit more in my next run. Let's go to the other side of this game, Miami. I think there was an injury thing here too, right? Maybe was it Davion Mitchell? If he's out, then we
Yeah,
can look at Drew Smith a little bit harder.
yeah, he got downgraded. He was probable, got downgraded to questionable. So, um, kind of assume he's out. I haven't really prepared for that yet, but I was already getting to a lot of Drew Smith on DraftKings, FanDuel. I think he's going to look better if Davion is out, and then Hawkes is also going to look better because he'll basically be running the show.
Norman Powell, last slate he showed up as a really good value. He ended up having a pretty good game. Today his value score, like everyone's value score, is pretty low though. The best value score on FanDuel is not even 14. On DK we only have two guys over 14. Khalil Ware's price is just dumb. But I'm pretty into taking a lot of shots on Norman Powell today. He's what, sixth overall on value. His OF index score is pretty decent on this slate. I mean, he kind of stands out for his price among all these other higher price guys. So at 13 and 20%, this is probably one of my favorite GPP plays on the day.
Yeah, I like that. Shooting guard, small forward eligibility, which is really helpful. So yeah, I do think Powell looks like a good player to take a shot on.
And you mentioned you had just all of the Craig Porter Jr. just got ruled out too for Cleveland. You
Oh
mentioned
God,
you. Yeah, we're gonna have some
that's
fun.
funny because remember I accidentally said Proctor, so now that's actually might be the case.
Yeah, we might be able to get to Proctor now. Lonzo for sure. Um, you mentioned you had all the Khalil Ware on DraftKings. His 4,700 price, even though he's 52% owned, he's like by far the best value on the model today. We have him projected for 27 minutes. You mentioned that might change for you if he doesn't start though.
Yeah, when he don't start, we've seen his minutes really be down the drain. So he kind of has to start for me, especially taking up a center spot on DraftKings. And then FanDuel, you have a higher price, but he has power forward eligibility. So I'm well over the field on FanDuel and DraftKings currently, assuming he does start. If he don't start, that'll change. But if they do rule like Davion out, Andrew Wiggins is also questionable. If either of them get ruled out, it just makes the path for Ware easier too because they don't really trust a lot of these guys off the bench. So his minutes are pretty secure if we get some of these guys ruled out.
Yeah, I am also about double the field on Khalil Ware on both sites, so think about that. Are you getting to any Andrew Wiggins? Um, if anyone in the chat could just confirm we're still here.
I'm trying to pull it
But
up on my phone real quick too.
okay, on my phone, it's like I'm behind. I don't know. It said we were frozen, or it looked like we were frozen, but let's just keep talking. BJ Edgecombe, one of the top values on both sites. Tyrese Maxey is back. There's no Joel Embiid tonight. I'm kind of interested. 16 and 21%. The model's not really identifying many spots to get to today, and this is one of them. We do have him projected for 37 minutes, but 6.5 point spread in New York. I kind of like it.
Yeah, we see a lot of these guys show up in New York, so I do think he looks pretty good. A shooting guard only, which kind of hurts him a little on DraftKings, but overall, I still think he's a good option. Um, yeah, I think he looks good.
Okay, I guess we were frozen for a couple of minutes. I don't think we said anything of consequence during those couple of minutes. Thank you guys for your patience with us. I didn't do anything; it just happened with YouTube. Um, do you mention Paul George?
I didn't, but yeah, I'm getting to quite a bit of him on DraftKings right now. Been playing pretty good this year. FanDuel, I think he looks pretty good as well. So yeah, someone I'll be getting to in some of my lineups.
I had Andre Drummond showing up a little bit. Are you interested on FanDuel specifically?
FanDuel, yeah, I don't mind getting to a few percent. The same price as Vooch, so I do think he's kind of a direct pivot.
And then that's about what I'm interested in there. Like you mentioned, Maxi is a pretty sick GPP play at only 11 and 7%. He missed one game, but I mean, if these guys are good to go, they're good to go. His minutes have been insane. They didn't say anything about a minutes limit, so I think we just assume that he's back to his 38-minute rotation. We have him for 36, so maybe we could give him one more minute and he would show up a little bit better. But at 11 and 7%, I think this is a spot we kind of want to get over the field on.
Yeah, definitely. I think Maxi's someone that I'm going to have a few percent of for sure. Going to try and be over the field. I think he looks good. And then one other guy I'll mention here is Bona. Going to be playing the
Okay.
backup center. Kind of a smaller slate on DraftKings, so I do think he's in play. So I don't mind taking shots at near min price.
Yeah, 3,100. Played 24 minutes last game. Seen him be in the 20-minute range. We only have him projected for 16. If you gave him a few more minutes, he would look a little bit better. I don't mind that at 6 and 1%.
Yeah.
Anything else on Philadelphia? You mentioned Quentin Grimes.
No, I think he's okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. Like if he shows up, but I'm not going to do anything to make sure he shows up. If he's in there naturally, I'll take a couple percent.
Yeah.
And then let's get the other side of this game, New York. So Cat sat out yesterday. Did they even have a minutes limit? They were talking about a minutes limit, and I feel like they played their normal minutes at least through the first half. And I know Jalen Brunson closed because he hit the game winner. Um, was that just a lie?
They've only played 34. They'll normally play a little bit more than that. So I guess they shaved off like 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Man, should have shaved off a little more. Let the Tyler Kolek show keep going.
Yeah.
Um, but no one here is being identified as a good value. No one's over 10% ownership on either site. No one's even double digits by OF index. Dude, was there a nerf to the model recently? I feel like this happened a couple days ago too, where everyone is just kind of lower. But what's our interest in the Knicks tonight?
That was kind of my first thought when looking at the model as well. But I don't know. It's not really my favorite game. I don't mind taking some shots in tournaments on these guys. I kind of still had some interest in Kolek even with everyone healthy, but that kind of goes away with some of the Cleveland news. I think we have better value. Still don't mind getting a couple percent, but as far as the main guys, Josh Hart's probably my favorite, and then Cat. Cat's a little cheap, and he has power forward eligibility on DraftKings, so I do think he looks pretty decent on DraftKings at only 6% ownership.
Yeah, despite what the model is kind of telling us, these guys are also low owned. It's only a 4 game slate. Philadelphia plays fast. I'm not sure why the totals aren't populating in here, but I think it's fine to get over the field on basically everyone here. Even Mitchell Robinson and then Jordan Clarkson kind of, I wouldn't say he failed yesterday, but he didn't have a outstanding game as chalk. He's only 1 and 2% owned. He's really not in that different of a position today. We still have him projected for 24 minutes, and the model's telling us he's kind of garbage. But this 4,200 price on FanDuel is kind of interesting. I think I'm okay taking some shots on that.
Yeah, I don't mind taking.
Moving. Are we back? I'm sorry about it, fellas. I don't know what I can do about it. I'm already like connected by a wire to my router. I think we're back though. Andrew Wiggins just got ruled out, so we're just going to be pretty interested in the Heat. Let's see. All right, I think we were pretty much done with New York. Let's go ahead to the next one. We got Spurs Hawks. We'll talk about the Spurs. So I think this is my favorite game to target tonight. Both teams play pretty fast. It's a close spread. Big fan of Stephon Castle specifically, as long as he stays in this mid 7K range. No one is standing out as a strong value, but Castle, he looks fine. What are you looking at on the Spurs?
Yeah, you pretty much said it. Castle, my favorite here. Really like Castle. I think he's kind of underpriced while Wemby is on a minutes limit, especially. But yeah, I think Castle looks good. Dylan Harper is getting a lot of ownership on DraftKings. There's plenty of pivots, so I don't really think I want like a ton of Dylan Harper, but he's fine to mix in. Not someone I'm going to completely avoid because I like him as a player, but I think he's overowned.
What do you think about Wemby? And we have him projected for 24 and a half. I think that sounds correct. He's projected for 0% ownership. Now, we've seen Wemby put up like 50 fantasy points in 20 minutes before, right? At
Yeah.
0% ownership, I think it's okay to play a little bit. It's not something that I'm gonna. If I had one lineup, I don't think I would touch him. But I have 150 lineups on both sites. I'm okay burning a few percent to take a shot that Wemby kind of goes off. Maybe that minutes limit goes up to like 27, in which case he's still not a good play. But he has a ceiling that a lot of players don't have in terms of per minute production. So I'd be okay getting to a little bit of Wemby. He's still the second OF index play on this, or third OF index play on this team.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting to a few percent.
HB, yeah, I'll talk about the Knicks for a second after we finish the Spurs. I'm really sorry about the stream like cutting out, fellas. What about the Aaron Fox? Only projected for 4%. This 8K price is probably appropriate for him.
Yeah, kind of similar. I don't mind getting to a few percent of Fox. I think he looks fine at 3% ownership. Willing to take some shots there.
I think Vassal is just the ultimate last guy in type of play. If you have the salary to get to him in your last position, I think it's
Yeah,
fine. And then these guys at the bottom, Barnes, Champagne, and Keldon Johnson. I'm not particularly targeting anyone, but again, a few guys I'm okay if they show up in a few of my lineups.
yep. Pretty much the same. Keldon is probably my favorite on DraftKings as far as like the bench dudes.
Okay, nice. And then Bubba's asking, what's a good pivot from Harper? So what? He's point guard,
Also,
shooting guard. You said Lonzo?
yeah,
I like it. Yeah, that sounds really nice, actually. So we'll play with the filters here. Point guard, shooting guard, under 6,200. We'll sort by DK value. Tyson, Nikhil Alexander Walker, Davion is now showing up. Are we waiting on Davion news, right?
yeah, still waiting on that.
Lou Dort, this is the type of play, like this value score isn't great, but he's one of the value plays we do have. I wouldn't play more than a few percent of him at all. Drew Smith would end up being the guy, though. If we get that Davion news, he'd be the top point guard play on the slate, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
And Jaime Jaquez would get a boost. Vic Krejci, we didn't talk about Atlanta yet. We'll talk about Vic Krejci right now. And just real quick for HB and anyone else who missed the Knicks, I think we're basically okay with getting over the field on everyone here. No one in particular stands out, but these ownerships are very reasonable to take GPP shots on pretty much anyone. And Philadelphia is not a bad team to target. So I'm going to be over this team overall, I'm pretty sure.
yep, same here.
And Smitty was cool with taking some shots on Tyler Kolek again at 4 and 6% ownership. I think the 3,900 on FanDuel sounds pretty good to get a few percent. We're not going crazy like we did yesterday.
Yeah,
We'll do Atlanta side. So we got no Trae Young today. Jalen Johnson still went off with Trae Young yesterday. Trae Young's roster spot is safe in Atlanta, at least for a few more days. These ownerships, 50% and 38% for Jalen Johnson. I'm over that, but I was a little surprised the field is that high. What do you think about him?
yeah. As of right now, I'm kind of around the field, but I'd be fine getting overweight. I think he's. I mean, he's in a great spot. We like this game, so I think he's someone we want to target. It's basically, I mean, you could fit them both, but if you're deciding between him and Jalen Brown, you just kind of build around which game you like more.
Yeah, I agree, and I do like this game overall more. I want to mix it up with both of them though, but Jalen Johnson is the top overall play on the slate by the model, top OF index, and he actually, compared to what we do have on the slate, this is fine for a pay up today. These value scores. Kongwu, I'm okay getting to. Seems like he's pulling a little bit of high ownership, but he does have power forward eligibility on FanDuel, which is useful. And Dyson, I haven't really been into a Trey Young out, but I kind of like him today for some reason.
Yeah, I don't mind Dyson either. Always prefer him on FanDuel. DraftKings don't score as well there, but on FanDuel I do like him. I think he looks good. And then Okongwu, I'm a little under the field currently on DraftKings, and then on FanDuel, I'm a little under the field too. But I do think he's a pretty decent play.
Nikhil Alexander Walker is 6K on FanDuel, projected for 66% ownership. I'm currently over that. This is just kind of a dumb price for him with no Trey Young. Like he could have kind of a poor game and still be fine at 6K. On DraftKings, 6,800 at 40%. I think there's a little bit more of a discussion, but what did you want to do with Nah over there?
Yeah, I think he still looks pretty good on DraftKings. 38% seems a little aggressive, but I don't know. I like this game. I do think the minutes are going to be there for him, and he's been productive without Trey out there. So I'm fine getting there on DraftKings. FanDuel, he looks pretty close to a core play.
I thought this was a pretty interesting one because he popped for me too, Vid Krejci. Price is very useful at these positions, 3,900 on both sites, projected for 18% ownership. Like, I think it's ridiculous. But what do you want to do with Vid Krejci?
Yeah, I was getting to a few shares of him and Risachet, which I don't wouldn't want to play them together, but I do think you could play either of them. There's a chance they get extended if they're playing well, so I don't mind either one of them in tournaments, but wouldn't be building it like in a single lineup. I probably wouldn't play either one.
This is kind of like what I was saying about Jordan Clarkson. Like, if Vid Krejci was a couple percent, I'd be more than comfortable taking a couple shots on him. As it is now, I'm slightly under the field. 18% isn't that high, but it's kind of high for a player like Vid Krejci. Anything else you wanted to mention here?
um, I do think on DraftKings, Asa Newell is at least in play.
Okay. Bulls, Cavs. Do a refresh of the model for you guys here. Check this out. We'll do Chicago first. So we talked about the Josh Giddey pivot last time. I'm pretty sure it worked out. I don't think he's projected that great around the industry today. We're getting him at 12 and 9% ownership, especially with Donovan Mitchell rolled out. Maybe this ownership comes in slightly higher than this, but I think this is a spot we can attack again.
Yeah, I think so too. With Donovan Mitchell out too, not that I thought the Cavs were going to blow them out, but you should expect a little more competitive game. So I do think I do want to be overweight on Giddy on both sides.
Vooch, his price came down on FanDuel. He was only he only came in at what 13% ownership last time. He smashed, put up like 40 fantasy points. He is projected for 26% today. I'm finding it really hard to get away from him. Like I like Vooch, but I don't want my whole day to depend on him being a center. So what do you want to do with that? And on DraftKings too.
Man, I was hoping to be able to ask you that one, but
Beat
yeah.
you
As
to it.
far as how many minutes did Vooch play last game? Can you look that?
Yeah, let's pull that up on here.
Because the thing that worries me with Vooch, especially as chalk,
Mhm.
is the minutes. Like 29, it's not bad. Like he played. They have three centers, so it makes it kind of tough. But the fact that they're willing to play Collins and Smith together kind of helps his situation. I don't know with getting Io back if that changes things though, to where they run just three centers and kind of give Vooch a break. So that's kind of my only worry there. But he's so cheap on FanDuel where if he gets you 30, he's not going to really kill you. But Vooch can go out and get 50, like it's not out of his range of outcomes. So it's kind of a tough piece to avoid, but also you only get one center. So it makes it to where he can kill your lineup. So I don't mind getting away a little bit and kind of mixing it up more.
Excuse me. Yeah, so Vooch is a good play. It just you don't want to only play Vooch as your center. Like I'm having to do some stuff to not get 70% plus of this guy.
Yep.
Um, Smitty, can you tell us about the rest of Chicago while I check something?
Yes. So for Chicago, we kind of talked about Giddy and Vooch. We're in on both of them. Kobe White's been playing good, still cheap on DraftKings, only pulling 11% ownership. So I do think he's a pretty solid play in tournaments, especially with us playing so many Cleveland pieces now with Donovan Mitchell out. I think it makes sense to get to more of these guys. The field's not really going to get there. So kind of a team that I want to be overweight on, especially Kobe White. I do like Kobe White, Giddy. Okoro's popping at the top of DK value. Feels kind of gross on this slate, but I don't mind having a few percent.
We called out Trey Jones and Zach Collins as being kind of solid pivots on the previous slate at their prices. This isn't too different. There's 4 games here rather than just two. But I think the same points remain. Zach Collins is a pretty good points per minute guy. And so if we get a few percent of them, I don't mind it today. Trey Jones actually had 4%.
Yeah, yeah. I think Zach Collins' power forward eligibility on FanDuel is pretty massive.
Nice. Luke is asking Giddy or Brown. What do you think?
Brown just straight up, but if you need an ownership discount, then you could go with Giddy.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to look at it. Brown is the better play today overall, but Giddy's projected for half and 1/3 of the ownership of him. So I don't mind getting over on Giddy, but I want to be over the field on Jalen Brown. I think I was just under it before the Donovan Mitchell news, so hopefully I rerun with some of those Cleveland guys, like the value play showing up a little more. Maybe I can get a little bit more Brown and a little bit more Giddy. Smitty, Jose wants to know who your favorite overall forwards are.
Forwards. Let's see. DraftKings currently, it's kind of weird. Tyson, getting to a lot of Tomlin, Jalen Johnson. It's probably the main three for me.
Yeah, I think Jalen Johnson is my top overall play on the slate. I'm okay with my whole day depending on him. Yep,
Yeah,
getting Tomlin. Basically the Cleveland guys are showing up now. After I need to readjust this.
yeah. Hunter's
So
kind of up there for me too, but I'm gonna bring him down a tad.
Paul George looks fine if you can get there in the mid range. Nickel Alexander Walker has small forward eligibility. Jaime if Davion Mitchell gets ruled out. Jaime Jaquez.
Yeah.
Norman Powell. Don't forget about Norman Powell.
Paul George.
Yep. Nice. Are we in the middle of a game or we're on to the next game? Lost my train of thought.
We're on to FanDuel now.
We're done with
we didn't talk about Cleveland. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's talk about Cleveland. I'll do one more refresh. So no Donovan Mitchell. I was talking about last time I was playing Darius Garland, but I was a little uncomfortable with it. I think we have to be comfortable playing him today. I know he's 7K and 7,200, but no Donovan. All right, Darius, show us prove all the haters wrong. There's a lot of talk about him being the most overrated player in the NBA. I heard someone say that.
Yeah, he's kind of done a little bit of everything, and his shot just hasn't fell. So when his shot does fall, you're going to need him. And this is a good spot going against the Bulls. No Donovan. He's going to be asked to do a lot more. So, yeah, I'm pretty in on Garland. I think he looks good. Currently getting to the most of Garland and Tyson. I think Tyson, I already liked him before, but shooting guard, small forward eligibility, pretty massive. Yeah, I think his minutes are secure. Really good matchup. It's hard not to play him.
Someone in the chat is saying FanDuel just crashed. Give me PTSD.
Please.
It took 3 weeks for me to get a refund the last time it crashed. I just uploaded a new lineup. It said it took it. I don't know if it is. I'm not going to navigate off my upcoming page because.
Yeah, I have my edit entries just pulled up right now. So
yeah,
I'm just leaving it.
That's like something you guys should probably do always for FanDuel anyway. I try to always keep my edit entries tab open while I'm working on lineups, and then submit lineups as you're working. I know it takes some time to copy and paste from the builder, but better to get some lineups in than have dead spots.
Yeah.
Willie B said it's very slow, but working on your end. All right, nice. If anyone else runs into issues, please let us know because that's something that we have to prioritize. But Cleveland, Jalen Tyson showing up as a good value. You mentioned you like Naquan Tomlin. His ownership's going to come up, right? He's at 10-3 right now.
Yeah, it should come up. I think he'll be pretty high owned. Only 3,300, and they've shown that they trust him. So I think the minutes will be pretty good for him.
Why does the model hate Jared Allen so much? We have him projected for 28 minutes. I would think that this is enough for him to be one of the best values on the day at 6K with no Mobley.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Especially with Donovan Mitchell getting ruled out. You would think that kind of helps secure his minutes a little bit more. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question.
So the minutes might not be finalized right now for Cleveland, but this is about what I would expect Jared Allen to be projected for, even maybe a little higher than I would expect. So that's interesting. I think he's still a great play. I mean, he started off hot last time. I don't think he finished hot, but I mean, especially with no Donovan Mitchell, there was something about the combos they were putting on the court. It was either Garland or Allen or Garland or Mobley or something. When two of them are off, the other two destroy. Was it Darius Garland and Jared Allen?
I think so.
Okay. I mean, this is only playing 28 minutes. Maybe he would have got 30 if the game was a little bit tighter, but I think he's still a good play despite what the model says. It's just tough because he's projected for so much ownership.
Yeah, it is.
DeAndre Hunter, what's the starting lineup?
Well, it's for sure Garland, Tyson, Allen. After that, it's kind of a question. They might go with Dean Wade to replace Mobley. And then you're looking at either they could go Tomlin or they could just go ahead and start Lonzo. I think is probably where they go.
Okay. So start Darius and Lonzo.
Yeah.
Hunter?
I think Hunter's probably still going to be off the bench, but maybe not.
Hunter could be kind of nice off the bench if some of his bench mates are starting. Maybe that's slightly more usage for him. We need to see him be more aggressive, though. I've been pretty disappointed in DeAndre Hunter recently.
Yeah.
Where are these? Someone here, if Lonzo does start,
Proctor.
I was going to say Tyrese Proctor at 32 and 3,600. I don't know. The model's not liking anyone today, so I don't even care that his value scores are pretty low at 19 minutes. 32 and $3,600 point guard. I think it's a little tougher to get to him on FanDuel because I hate taking up my point guard spot with someone who might only score 12 fantasy points. But on DraftKings, I think it's a little bit easier. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of it depends on the starting lineup too. Like you said, if they do start Lonzo and Garland for some reason, that means Proctor's role is pretty secure. So
Yeah.
I would feel really good about playing Proctor.
Someone called out Dean Wade as being a poor fantasy producer in the chat 2 days ago. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
He had
he's
a poor
awful.
game at a little higher ownership, but he's 10 and 6% projected ownership today at the same price. I don't mind taking shots on him again, assuming he starts.
Yeah, I don't mind it either.
All right, let's build a dummy for DraftKings. So, who are your first couple of guys in? Jalen Johnson?
Yeah, we can go Johnson, Garland,
Yep.
Tyson.
Garland, Tyson. Put Tyson at
Uh,
small forward.
at least one of the Boston dudes. White, Pritchard, Brown. I don't know if we could fit Brown, but
Let's try and fit Brown. That only leaves us 4,200. Who did we want to play at center?
where?
Oh, yep. That's an easy one. Was there a super cheap guy that we wanted to try to fit in here to make this work?
Proctor. Tomlin. Probably the safest option.
Okay, Tomlin.
Let's see. He's small forward, power forward. So.
All right, we'll move Tyson to shooting guard. Oh, that didn't work. Tomlin at small forward, Tyson at shooting guard. Tomlin's only 3,300. I could see him getting the start here. He's been pretty bad though.
Don't look at that.
Don't look at his game log. Just trust.
Just click him.
So we have 4,500 left for two positions.
Need a
Drew,
guard.
Drew Smith. It's planned for
What's that?
Davion being out.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Leaves us 5,200 to get to nobody that we're interested in. Dylan Harper's okay. Maybe you can play with the 400. Maybe we'll take Jalen Brown out so we can have a little more flexibility. Like, what was the other top pay up other than Jalen Johnson?
Uh,
Giddy, Brunson, Maxey.
yeah.
Let's try Giddy since we were kind of talking about him being a cool pivot, and we can
Yeah,
fit in
and
DeAndre Hunter.
yeah, I
Oops.
kind of like with all these Cleveland pieces too to run it back with Giddy. Something
Yeah,
the field won't really do.
nice. I like it. Yeah. Yeah, we can target this game a little bit more than the field. Really need that Cleveland starting lineup. We should have it pretty soon here.
No, that's 30 minutes after.
Who's the top notch salary saver, Smitty?
Oh man. Um, Khalil Ware. If you're looking for really cheap, then it all depends on the Cleveland starting lineup for me. But the safest bet would be Drew Smith and Khalil Ware. I like Tomlin as well.
Yeah, the model is giving us Khalil Ware. This definitely changed in the last couple minutes since Andrew Wiggins got ruled out because now we're talking, dude. This is I don't know. I'm probably okay with 100% Khalil Ware as long as he's starting. But Drew Smith number 3, and this is with Davion still projected in, right? He didn't get ruled out
Yeah.
yet.
No, he's still in.
14 and 3% ownership. This is the first game, so we should have that news. Maybe we don't get as much of an edge, but it's Friday. People don't like to adjust, or the field doesn't adjust as much as it should, very close to lock. So I think Drew Smith is a 6 spot, and then Tomlin, that game is after lock, so we'll have to make sure he starts before we really plug him in. Fontecchio's kind of showing up too. I don't mind taking some shots after he burned the crap out of us last week.
Yeah.
Nice. Best center's not named Jared Allen, Smitty.
Khalil Ware.
Yeah, Khalil Ware.
Khalil Ware. Let's see, like for DraftKings, trying to see true centers. Khalil Ware. Okongwu, I still think's pretty decent. DraftKings, I wouldn't really play Vooch, but Kata looks pretty good.
Yeah, Keita, I think we can take shots on. He's actually still showing up as the second best value over on DraftKings, Nemius Keita. We'll do DK main.
Drummond's a little more risky, but he's the same price.
Yeah, I think all these ownerships are pretty reasonable to get to. Anyone you want to pivot off of, basically in this group, looks fine. Luke Cornett's a little bit scary, but 4,200 on DraftKings, everyone's going to be playing Khalil Ware. I don't think that's a good pivot, but maybe you could play them both together. Like you could play Cornett instead of Ware. Maybe that 500 is useful and just get massive leverage on the field. But no ideas.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Vooch.
Yeah, I think on FanDuel too, since Ware has power forward eligibility, instead of playing Vooch, you could just play Ware and then play
Oh,
other
okay.
power forwards. Instead
Yeah.
of pivoting like with a center, you could just play Ware. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll put Ware at power forward. So the top true centers on FanDuel, Vooch, Kata, Drummond, Okongwu, we could fit in there. We could play him at power forward too. And then Luke Cornett. I don't know. I think it's kind of a sick one at 1% ownership.
Yeah, second end of a back to back for Wimby that's been limited, so there's a possibility he sees a few extra minutes.
I wanted to look at Cleveland's center rotation last game. Thomas Bryant played 18 minutes.
Oh god,
Yeah, I'm gonna do it, dude. Didn't have a
Six.
great game, but 18 minutes. We don't have him projected for 18, do we? Thomas Bryant. We have him for 15 and a half. Not that if you gave him 18, he would look much better, but at 1 and 2%, everyone's playing Jared Allen. I could see it.
Yeah,
I don't mind a few percent. Let's
uh,
round out. What was that?
we did get Io and Trey Jones are limited to 24 minutes, so nothing
Okay.
major, but kind of unplayable.
I mentioned, yeah, Trey Jones was kind of a cool pivot. Probably not going to be. I mean, he didn't have much potential to play 24 minutes anyway, or 24 plus anyway, but I'm probably going to just avoid that now.
Check Discord.
Check Discord, fellas. Did we
I'm
just get
looking.
some crazy stuff?
No hard minutes limit on Victor Wembanyama.
Okay, nice. So,
It's kind of crazy.
yeah, I mentioned we had Wemby projected for 24 and a half minutes. I said maybe he gets up to 27 now. Can we project Wemby for 30? What would that do? He still wouldn't show up great, but he might show up a few percent if we gave him 30 minutes tonight.
Yeah, I don't mind getting to a few.
Can they
He's,
start him again?
I think they're off for a few days after this.
Okay. And this,
So
I
it
don't
makes
know, just
sense.
this game sounds so good with no Trey Young. Jalen Johnson versus Stephon Castle, dude. I love it.
Yeah,
Spurs play very fast. They torched my Lakers when I watched that whole game last week. Um,
yeah.
they're very good.
Who's Castle on? You think defensively?
Castle, um, Nikhil Alexander Walker
Yeah, maybe.
is gonna destroy him.
Yeah, 5 stocks.
So we have a fifth game over on FanDuel, Minnesota versus OKC. No one on Minnesota is pulling more than 10% ownership. I think Rudy Gobert is a pretty great center to mix in over there. It's another day. It's been weird. There's not centers that really stand out that we're super excited to play. There's guys we're going to get over the field on, right? Jared Allen and Vooch, but we're not super excited about it. We don't feel great. I think Rudy Gobert is pretty cool to mix in at under 10% ownership.
Yeah, he has a huge ceiling, and if they're staying competitive in this game, Rudy's probably playing pretty good, at least defensively.
Ant's back at 3% ownership. I mean, everyone here is super low owned, but Ant at 9,200. Like these guys are maybe slightly priced up for Ant to be out. Ant isn't. Ant's priced at his normal price, so this is another pay up we can get to maybe a little bit more than the field. And Julius, I think we were both super into him last time with no Ant, but it's really hard to get 9K for Julius today, even at his low ownership.
Yeah, it's tough because they're priced for Ant being out. The one thing I will mention though, it is a pretty close spread, so Vegas at least expects them to do pretty well here. So I think that's pretty good for Ant. Like if you wanted to take a shot on Ant and hope he keeps it close, I like that. And then same goes for Gobert. That kind of makes him look better as well. So I think them two are my favorite. Everyone else is kind of hard to get to.
Tyrese Proctor is likely to start Friday per Chris
Oh
Fedor.
man, why'd they have to do that to me?
Well, we can still get to Lonzo off the bench now. Could
Yeah,
still close.
I was
We'll,
hoping they wouldn't start him though. I wanted him at like 2% ownership.
dude, we're still gonna get him at less than 10. Maybe not on DraftKings, but I don't think we're gonna get him at the field's not gonna get there, right?
And they
Not
don't
like
know
they
who
should.
Proctor is.
Yeah, like we're going to get to Proctor if you're here watching this show. I don't know if everyone else is though, but he's like a super cheap guy that's starting, so the field is usually sharp enough to play him. Maybe too sharp. They play him too much. But what else were you looking at on Minnesota? Nas Reed, Jaden McDaniels, Dante DiVincenzo, GPP plays?
Yeah, GPP plays kind of tough with their prices. Nas is probably my favorite out of that group.
I need to see what my exposures are. Yeah, I only got to Gobert and Edwards, and then one total lineup with Dante DiVincenzo. I need to adjust that. I don't want to fade this. We just got Davion rolled out, so this
Oh
is
gosh.
turning into like I kind of like it. I think this is one of the better slates we've had in the last few days.
Yeah, that's always a good slate when all this stuff happens.
Yeah, Drew Smith was already showing up as a top value. I Are you comfortable locking Drew Smith?
Yeah, FanDuel no, but DraftKings definitely.
Yep, I agree. Let's close at OKC. Maybe we can try to revisit that right now. Again, pretty much no one's projected for more than 10% ownership. SGA at 10, Chet and Jalen at 9. I kind of feel the same way. I think these guys are all fine to get to. For some reason, Jalen Williams is calling to me today, so I want to make sure that I have him in my exposure set, but I'm not like married to anyone else here. If I don't get anyone else, I think I'm okay with it. Maybe Kason Wallace was kind of standing out on DraftKings. Or no, he's not on DraftKings, so never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. I do think SGA is a pretty good play in a game that's expected to be fairly competitive. Hasn't got his minutes in a long time, so if he does, I think he'll be pretty good.
This is Hartenstein's first game back, right?
Yeah, he came back for a few and then he was out last game.
Okay. Um, yeah, it looks like actually the only exposure I have on this team right now is to Chet, and I'm getting 20%. So that's kind of interesting.
Hmm.
Might adjust that. I wanted to look at AJ Mitchell too. Model doesn't love him. We only have him projected for 23 minutes, but is he going to get garbage run again now?
Uh, yeah, he probably would.
It's only a 6.5 point spread, so we're not projecting a blowout, but I think this is a player I'm usually always okay getting to when no one else wants to get there, as long as he stays around this 5K. He does have a ceiling, so that's an idea. And if you're playing the showdown on DraftKings, then that might be an idea to get to a little bit more AJ Mitchell.
Yep.
I did want to return to Cleveland just very quickly with that Tyrese Proctor likely to start. This isn't going to update for it until he's confirmed, but he's 3,200, 3,600. I don't think the field gets there as much as they probably should. We don't want our whole day to depend on him. He's an awesome play, but we also got to get to Lonzo Ball, I think. I'm curious to see how their ownership shakes out.
Yeah, and Drew Smith now too. So yeah, I don't think he's like a lock and load play, but I want to get to quite a bit of him. He's productive when he's out there. The fact that they're starting him, he might not close like Lonzo probably closes, but still, I mean, if you give him 24 minutes at min price, he's going to look pretty good. So I think he looks good, but don't forget about like you said, Lonzo, Tomlin, all them off the bench are going to have really good usage rates playing with Lonzo.
And the Sixers, I think this was expected. Maxi Edgecombe, Paul George, Barlow, and Drummond.
Yeah,
So Davion is still in here, but I mean, just give Drew Smith like how many minutes? Is 30 too much?
probably. I don't know. They've played him 30. Let me
If
see.
we give him like 30 minutes, he shows up right below Khalil Ware. He's one of like outstanding value compared to the rest of the slate. And now I'm also wondering about Kasparis Jakusionis.
Oh god. Yeah, he's actually a
He's
good fantasy player, but he just
Yeah,
hasn't really been in the rotation.
yeah. We were playing him in preseason or summer league.
Yeah, he does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, if he could potentially, because I mean, they can't run Drew Smith for 40 minutes tonight. I suppose they could, but let's say Drew Smith gets 30. I imagine Jaime Jaquez will get a few minutes at point guard, but I mean, if Kasparis comes in and plays well, I don't hate this as a deep pivot off of what could be a chalky Drew Smith.
How many guys do they have? Is it only 8 guys? Or Jameer? I don't. No, they'll have more than that. I think they have 10.
Let me see real quick for Miami.
I don't know if Jameer Young is active. I'm pretty sure he is.
Okay. Um, yeah, Harrow's out. Pele Larson, Jovic, Wiggins, Davion Mitchell are out. Yeah, Jameer. I mean, he's not relevant for DFS, right? But just if he
No,
takes minutes from someone else.
they're thin though. Like,
Kashad Kashad Johnson got some weird playing time last game too. Let me
yeah,
just pull
he's
that
a
up real
pretty
quick.
good fantasy player too.
Yeah, where's Kashad Johnson on the model?
He's almost min price.
Yeah, he's there. This is another min price pivot. Wow, this is going to be a really dumb slate if someone randomly gets 30 minutes tonight that we're not expecting.
Yeah.
So Kashad played 13, but he had a pretty decent rotation in the first half. They need him a little bit more tonight. Um, it's hard to give him more than 16 minutes, but just keep it in mind. If you don't play him at all, that's fine.
Yeah. What do you think about Hawkins? I know we think he looks better, but um, do you like him?
Hawkes, um, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a ton of him. There's no Harrow and now there's no Davion. Hawkes is probably their best point guard, like more so than Drew Smith. And so
Yeah.
even if he comes off the bench, we've seen Jaime Hawkes smash off the bench, especially if his ownership stays around here, 22 and 27. I think I'm going to be pretty interested in getting over the field there.
Yeah, I think so too. Shooting guard, small forward definitely helps. I just have this weird thing with like him and Norm Powell, how they don't really like them to play together. But now that they're shorthanded, I feel like that kind of changes.
Okay. Yeah, and
They
they are
kind of
going
do the
against
same thing.
they're going against Boston, which isn't like an easy matchup. I want to see how the spread moved. It was 7.5 with Davion in. I can't imagine Davion moves it by more than like a point. But there's some blowout risk here.
Yeah, especially the way the Celtics have played.
Yeah. And then is Drew Smith a lock on DraftKings? He's pretty close to a lock. 3,800. He's going to come in lower on than he should. I imagine. Did you run your new set with his new whatever you updated him to?
No, I haven't yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. But we got who's in the Discord today? I hope it's not me because I don't
Jayhawk.
know. Okay, nice. Yeah, Jayhawk's in there. Jayhawk had some good stuff. Was it yesterday or the day before? Make sure you join the Discord. Instructions are in the description below. If you want to see updates on the model post stream, sign up for the site. We have plans starting at as little as $7 a week. It's $1 a day, gets you access to the plugs and the model for all the sports that we offer them for. We got a couple fun holiday slates coming up too, so make sure you're in there for that. I believe the Christmas Day slate will be me and Smitty will be on a pre-recorded
Yep.
video, so we'll yeah, we'll be around. Good luck tonight, guys. Anything else, Smitty?
No. Good luck.